I'm Jabin Melville. I'm this year's president of the Cabrillo Robotics Club. I was the chief organizer. My job was to make sure I kept track of it, all the deadlines and the information that was coming from NASA, and keeping my team informed and getting them to meet together and work on the project. How to do that, learning GitHub and integrated development environments and what a GUI was all new to me in this programming competition. So I've learned a lot. I've come a long way, and I plan to learn a lot more about robotics. I'm very interested in the ROS and C++. I've realized how valuable it is, so I intend to learn more about that too.
Hi, I'm Christy Fresh.
What have you learned?
I've learned a lot about Bash. I didn't know about that. And I learned a lot about GitHub and how actual projects work, not just like one person doing something.
Is there anything else you'd want to add?
No, it was fun.
Cool.
We should get real robots.
Hi, my name is Angel Fernando Cantero Martinez.
What's your role in the team?
I was a tester throughout the majority of the team, but during that time I wanted to kind of filter in and out through what everyone was doing, so that way I got a better grasp of what was going on. I kind of learned how a team of software engineers pretty much got together and coded one project efficiently and effectively through communication and through helping each other out.
My name is Zibo Golden. I am an electrical engineering student at Cabrillo College.
What was your role in the team?
My main role was the film director for the engineering outreach video. I was helping coordinate the outreach when we went down to Watsonville High to help with the kids and structuring our meeting and how our presentation went.
My name is Kyle Park. I'm a mechanical engineering major, hoping to transfer to San Jose State University.
What was your role in the team?
My role in the team, I suppose, was a lead programmer. We'd come up with ideas and how we wanted to get the rovers to operate, and then we'd go to we dive into the code and figure out how we wanted to implement those changes and get the results we wanted. And then after much testing and frustration, troubleshoot the bugs.
What have you learned?
What have I learned? I learned a lot about working with a bunch of different people and different skill sets and how to manage strengths and weaknesses of the individuals and figure out, I guess, how to work better as a team and how to bring ideas to life, ideas of how we want to operate and how we want to get the rovers to do what we want them to do.
Hi, I'm Kenny Murray.
What have you learned from being involved in the Swarmathon?
There's a lot of teamwork, and it's really good working with a group of people. And a lot of times in our classes we get so focused on just getting the assignment done, and here it was a little bit more open-ended and a little bit more adventurous, a little more of the real world. And you make a solution, you come up with an idea, you look at it when it's working, and it's sometimes not, and so you need to go back and redo it.
What is your name?
Andrew Boyd, programming for a while now.
What have you learned from the Swarmathon?
Development skills would be the best way to put it. A lot of this type of stuff that they teach here is more algorithms. It's focused on computer science as opposed to more practical skills that you would learn as an actual developer or software engineer, which is you figuring out APIs, looking through their documentation, figuring out how to use them, implementing things that other people have already done for you. We don't really get a lot of experience at here by default at Cabrillo, so it was really nice to sort of fill out my experience a bit more with that. And they were encountering an error in C++ because a lot of the team members here were a bit on the more inexperienced end as far as C++ goes. When they encountered an error or were wondering, hey, why isn't my code working? Then I would sort of help them out and sort of guide them along. I'm like, oh, okay, here's what you got caught up on. Here's how we can get past that.
Hi, my name is Christopher Billingsley. I go by Fritz. I was an integrator. I did a lot of the testing. So basically what I was doing was taking all the changes that the coders did, and then applying those changes into testing the changes and determining if the rovers were doing better than previously. One of the members on the outreach, so I learned, I guess, how to explain things to children and try to inspire children.
Garrett Mason. I'm hoping to transfer to UCSC for their robotic engineering program.
What was your knowledge of ROS and C++ before the Swarmathon?
Before I started the Swarmathon, I had taken 2 C++ classes, and I had no experience with ROS whatsoever. Going into robotics, it was kind of exciting to see kind of more of a fully formed robotics environment, and our advisor was very talented and helped talk us through a lot of it and get us into the basics of ROS, and that was really interesting and really exciting, a whole lot to learn.
What have you learned by being a part of the Swarmathon?
The Swarmathon, step 1 was learning GitHub, getting the basics of how to get the code together, share and collaborate was the biggest step for sure at first. And then after that, it was more experience just really working on a large scale project, something that you collaborated with other people and connecting all the different pieces and working on a project for more than just like a couple days for a short assignment. I'd say that was definitely the biggest new thing that I got out of this, and it was a lot of fun.
Hello, my name is Natasha Mohan, and I'm studying mechanical engineering at Cabrillo College.
What have you learned by being a part of the Swarmathon?
I learned to work in programs that I had never worked with before. I had never used Ubuntu before. I had never used ROS or GitHub before. And just being a part of a team which involved coding, I'd never done that. So that was a new experience for me.
Lisa, and my major is aerospace engineering.
What was your role on the team?
I was a tester, so my job was to test every single code and make sure that all the codes were correct and we were able to integrate them into the master branch and then push them into the NASA repository.
I'm Jim Turner.
What was your role on the Swarmathon team?
Helping out a bit with the programming and testing.
I'm Mike Matera. I'm the advisor for the Robotics Club here at Cabrillo. I am the team's advisor, so I had the pleasure and the privilege of working with students as they learned more about C++, guiding people through RobotOS. I was the Git master when it came to our repository, and I just was nerding out and helped out. I've learned so much about RobotOS that I want to spend my summers now building robots, because I didn't, I had read the thumbnail sketch of what RobotOS was before, and I kind of understood the basics. But getting into it, I learned really a ton about what RobotOS does and all of the libraries and the modules you can use out there to do incredible stuff with very little programming experience. It's actually really exciting.